whatever, so anything that I can do at your service. And by extension, as you already are working with the local chapter, so they were very excited about last week's meeting and tonight's meeting, so that's just great. That's how we need to work together. And
Are you going to be able to go to tonight's meeting?
I'm going to be at Seton Hall at
Oh,
6:30. I'm giving
okay.
a lecture there, so
Okay, okay.
it's at the same time.
Yeah,
and I just
okay.
couldn't make it, or else I would have been there. That would have been a lot.
That would have been, yeah, because it's been a lot of excitement and stuff, you know. Every meeting that I've gone to has gotten better and better, and people are really getting involved.
Mm-hmm.
It's planned out all the way, like, through the end of the year,
Yeah.
you know, so, and that's like unheard of, you know.
Right.
So,
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
It says a lot about our members who are leading the way, organizational skills, and people like being excited and getting more involved. And I was talking to Chris, when things are happening and you don't have to be there, or you're not key in organizing, then you know you're really doing your job. So
yeah, yeah.
that's great. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that very much.
We just walked in with Emma.
Hi,
And
Emma.
That's our secretary. She's getting some warmers.
and chef.
The Iron Chef, yeah. She did all the empanadas.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, that was she's an important person we.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So yeah, guys, thanks for coming. It's crazy. Like I was just saying, like we had like 4 pop-up events like in the last like 3 days from like professors who were like doing some BuzzFeed reporter that's downstairs. Is BuzzFeed stealing the show today?
Oh, well, I think I'll go there.
Yeah, right.
No, that's great.
Yeah, but yeah, this is our second meeting of the semester. We had a really good turnout. The last meeting, about 20 people showed up. Like I said, I think we would have probably at least 15 to 20 here today if it wasn't for that event. We're really like last semester, I think everybody here for the most part was involved last. I know Denise, you're new to the chapter. Mariana was there. You know, it's kind of like just like starting from the ground up, right? Kind of like running around like crazy. Like sometimes we thought we knew what we were doing, other times we had no idea, but like really just trying to like create awareness, get like passion kind of going for the chapter. So it's been good, like that we had a lot more dedication this semester. We're trying to like really like obviously like, you know, it's good to have meetings and everything, right? But what can we do to like sustain that? Because especially with this school here, like we have such like a quick turnover rate. It's like 3 semesters and you're gone. So I think the key is for us is, you know, what are we going to do to make sure we're set up for, you know, next semester when the 2015 class comes in? It sounds crazy just to even think about that. Yeah. You know, our new executive, Chinwe, our treasurer, our secretary Pamela, you met. You know, they're doing a great job, you know, running things also, because they'll all be here in the fall to help transition the new class and to get some more people to champion it.
Sure.
So
That's great. No, I mean, you have to plan ahead, you have to have timelines, and you have to have a timeline with goals to meet. If not, nothing gets done. So it does sound a little bit strange to talk about 2015, but this is when you got to talk about 2015, because then before you know it, we'll be in the fall semester and just buttoning things up. So, that's
Yeah,
good.
definitely. So I know you guys got a chance to read a little bit about Hugo's background, but figured, you know, if you could, you know, maybe like tell us a little bit about, you know, NAHJ and what you're doing now.
Sure. I'll talk to you a little bit about me, and then I'll weave in NHJ because it's been such an integral part of my professional career. So, like many students, my career started with my internship. Certainly took classes, of course, but one of the things that was key in my making a decision about whether being a broadcast journalist or a print journalist was that internship. And my internship was at the Number 47 in New York, and like everything else, whether it's a class or an internship, it's important for all of us to take advantage of those situations and those opportunities. And for me, it was about learning different careers within that newsroom, from the assignments team to the reporters to the producers to the management team to the technical folks, the directors and the production staff. And from that summer, I quickly learned what I wanted to be in broadcast journalism, but I wanted to follow a management track, and that started me off in production. From there, a part-time job while I was in school turned into a full-time job when I finished my studies, and it started my career with Telemundo, and I briefly went to WPIX in New York 1 in the late 1990s before being recruited by NBC to work in South Florida, in Miami, at the local station there. And I was there for 4 years, a wonderful market, a great experience to live and work in a new community. And even though New York, of course, is very diverse, always has been very diverse, when I worked and lived in Miami-Dade County, it was really the first time where I was part of the majority. You know, here, even now, the Bronx is the majority of the residents in the Bronx are Latinos, but in New York, we're still sort of, I think, maybe third as far as population growth. In Miami, largely driven because of the Cuban American community, Latinos were the largest members of the community, and they were involved in all facets of the community, both in government, in business, etc. So that was new to me to be in the United States, in a community where bilingualism was embraced, and you could go to the corner store and people would be speaking in Spanish, and not look, and everybody around you not kind of feel uncomfortable because everybody was Latino. From there, I came back to New York and worked at MSNBC, and then worked at WNBC, and was there when 9/11 happened. And in 2002, NBC's parent company at the time, General Electric, purchased Telemundo, and that for me was a very important moment, because NBC purchased Telemundo for a very strategic reason. They at that time they were number one, and so this is the ceiling, and this is NBC, and they saw that the room for their business growth was limited. And when they saw Spanish language and they saw Telemundo, they saw that there was an opportunity for larger growth. So, born at a very selfish standpoint, growing your business, they purchased Telemundo. But for me, it was an opportunity to be able to work with two very distinct markets and really infuse diversity on the NBC side, understanding and having worked in Telemundo, knowing that 90% of the people who worked in Telemundo were bilingual and bicultural. And so I felt this is the diversity that NBC needs to continue to grow. I also saw that NBC would be investing resources both in processes and in technology and in equipment to make Telemundo competitive. So for a year, I worked as part of the NBC integration team, traveling to different markets, starting news departments in certain markets, putting both teams under one roof, and developing the infrastructure for domestic coverage for the stations group in the United States. After that, I was named news director at where my career started, at Telemundo 47. So it was for me very gratifying to be the newsroom leader, where I started my internship and made a decision that that's what I wanted to do. So that was wonderful, and I did that for 7 years. A lot of growth, professionally, personally. A lot of peaks and valleys. I was news director when, unfortunately, there were the country suffered through a great recession. There were massive changes in technology that we're still feeling the repercussions of that technology, the evolution of how people consume news, information, and entertainment, and not only consume, but how we news gather and we distribute that content. So I was part of that process as well. And that was very painful, but certainly I learned a lot. And at the end of 2009, my 14-year career with NBC Universal and Telemundo came to a close, and I joined WCBS as their managing editor. I was with them for 2 years, and that was a great learning experience as well, to be a part of the management team in an English language network in #1 market. After that, I was recruited by ESPN to join them as a coordinating producer, an executive producer, overseeing the production of shows like Sports Center, which is sort of like a headline news, to give an example, and really with them. And now I'm walking on year number 3, but like with NBC, not only look to be relevant and grow the ESPN brand, but look for opportunities to grow in relevancy with the Latino population, and doing some very important, strategic, and creative work of the likes that I certainly was not able to do at NBC. And I think even now, ESPN in many ways is very courageous and forward-thinking in the strategies that we've come up with, and we're executing. So I think for me, after 20 years of working in local network and cable news, what attracted me to work with ESPN was the multiple platforms, multiple markets in English and Spanish, the way they embraced and pioneered and lead in the use of new technology, the second and third screen, to enhance the viewer's experience on the main screen, as well as sports being the ultimate equalizer, where regardless of ethnicity, of gender, of language, it's all about performance, and everybody is equal on the playing field. So I've been very fortunate in my career to have a lot of opportunities. I've certainly made the most of those opportunities, and I continue, I'm in the second half of my career, right? So I still got another 20 years to see what's going to happen, and I'm very excited about that. NHJ was impacted my career very early on, and like so many students, I joined NHJ because I knew I needed to expand my network beyond the people who I worked with or the market that I worked with. I wanted to get guidance from seasoned journalists who shared similar experiences like me, being Latino, being first generation Latino, and also the media companies that were and continue to invest in NHJ. I think it's important, especially for not only for professionals but for students, to be very understanding of the importance of continuously marketing yourself and having your brand out there. NHJ is certainly a conduit towards that. It's also a platform for training, and it's a platform also for to get involved. You know, being a Latino journalist, it's one and the same. I don't disassociate myself as a Latino when I'm being a journalist and vice versa. I can't